It's my favorite thing, man. The level 2s, Mythic plus 2s are the gift that keeps on giving, and you guys are being very generous with some of these submissions, man. We got another amazing key today. Kind of a great follow-up from yesterday's. Yesterday's was like 36 seconds long. This one's going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to have a lot of the same themes along the way. Because you see, we are asking for a Summen, S-U-M-M-E-N, says, I guess it's like a Twitch TV advert. Is that what that's meant to be? He can't figure out how to get to the dungeon. This is going to be a great guy to watch on Twitch, I'm sure. You think I might be joking or exaggerating, but no, I'm not. Let's fast forward a bit. He says, this is dumb. I don't remember how to get there. That's fucking 10 minutes into the recording, by the way. 10 minutes into the recording, the guy's not still here. Let's just watch this all. This is too good. So it's actually kind of wacky how it unfolds because they're standing here summoning, right? They're asking for a summon, trying to click the stone, but Motherload is very interesting in the way that there are two entrances. I think this is like one of the only dungeons ever that have had two entrances, but there's a Horde and an Alliance entrance for some reason. So this player's at the Alliance one. Some of the other people trying to summon are at the Horde one, but then there's also like things like War Mode and all that, you know, so there's a lot of factors that might stop somebody from summoning. So if any dungeon was going to cause problems like this, it's just Motherload. This is the one. It is over, what's that, 2 minutes? Yes, 2.5 minutes before anything actually gets realized. The person recording this recognizes that they are at the Ally Stone and that the others are at the Horde Stone. I just want to further set the stage too, because we got honestly like an all-star cast of characters. This is the person who actually sends it in. I think it's funny that the guild is big thinkers. 597 boots. Are those high enough item level to do it too? It's actually kind of crazy though. Like I'm looking at all these characters and they've just like not done any other key other than this one. Looking at DJ, he's done a single key. That's the guy who needs to summon. Here is the Warlock in the group, another single key player. This is the tank, currently 300 score. So they've done 2 keys, only 2 keys on this character. Then we have Tomato, I guess it's meant to be a joke. 600, another one sub 1000. This guy's done some 3s though, so he's the heavy hitter in the group. And this collection of people who equal up to less than 3k score are not going to be able to figure out how to get DJ Jazzy Jeff to the dungeon within 10 minutes of the recording started. I mean, we have no idea how long it actually took from the entrance point of the group. Like the video I made yesterday, I still don't know exactly how long that whole thing took to unfold, but presumably this takes way longer. So they're back in the dungeon saying like, hey, can you two who are just Horde summon? Okay, one of them's the Shaman standing right next to us, so they're obviously not doing it. They're not AFK or anything. They're just gonna refuse to do it. No surprise. Honestly, don't summon people. If it was me, I'm just removing this guy. This is ridiculous. To not know how to get to dungeons at this point in the season especially is just unacceptable. But maybe if you really want to do the dungeon within 10 minutes and you don't want to kick the guy and find somebody else, then you can go and do it, but doesn't seem like anybody minds. So because the Shamans just sat here AFK on their mount now, we're gonna go ahead and say this. No summons, I guess. Take time waste from Dornogal. That is 5 minutes and 20 seconds into the recording. The response is time waste question mark. Oh no. Now the tank says, I was at the stone, but somebody left. I'll go out. I need one out. Yeah, the only other person who could summon is the Shaman who's just sitting on his mount. Not normally what we're looking at when we're looking at the map. We're trying to explain it to the guy. I think what's happening here is she's trying to figure out the coordinates of it or something like that. I'm not really sure what we're doing here. Just kind of hovering over it. I think maybe trying to like link it or click on it or something. I don't know what we're actually doing here, but you see now we're like clicking on this and there's like right underneath it is the coordinates. So I wouldn't be surprised if she was trying to do that, but now we're just like clicking on random stuff. So I don't know. It's not working one way or the other. That's what she was trying to do. She's trying to make like a waypoint, or what are those things called? It's like a thing that you can click on. Actually click on the icon there and then that's there. Trying to link it in the chat probably. This is how hard this fucking game is. This game is actually impossible. Now we're looking through the map filters, trying to figure out if there's one to filter out this demon hunter. Place a locational pin on the map that can be tracked and shared with people who aren't demon hunters. That's a good feature. So we did that, I think, right? Did we do that? Oh, all right, there it is. You can share this location with other players who have brains and eyes. Oh, that's not gonna work. Do link something in the chat there. Portal to the timeways. Map pin location linked. Nobody came out to summon. Sorry, yeah, because the Shaman is still just sat here AFK on their mount. This is the response I showed earlier, but it just cracks me up every single time I've read it. This is dumb. I don't remember how to get there. Response to that, I dropped a pin in the chat. I can't click on pinned. It won't pop up. Gonna test it out ourselves here to make sure it works. I'm gonna click on it and yeah, it just opens it up, I guess. I don't know, there's so much stuff on the screen. So he's gonna have the fucking balls to ask a second time. Here it is a second time. Can I please get a Summen? I don't know what to say about this. I mean, I don't, yeah, let's just not say anything. I think it's probably for the best for everybody if we just don't say anything about this. So since the Shaman, who's from Azralan, by the way, just refuses to participate in this situation, what we're going to do is we are going to fly from this side of the map to the other side of the map. I will fly to the Horde one. It takes like 3 seconds. I love that thing on the map there. It shows you like the trajectory of where you're flying as well. You see that dot? That's pretty damn cool, actually. It's like a bunch of dots that's showing you where to go. Pretty neat. It's a great zone. Explore it. Take your time flying around it, man. I love this zone. This is one of the best zones in the entire video game. I love the landscape and how the cityscape of the landscape is like such a huge part of it. So we're gonna land over here on this goblin boat. We need to be on the other side. There's the summoning stone over there, so we fly over there. Tons of people here summoning their friends who don't know how to get here. The only ally, luckily we are on a non-PvP thing. I mean, could you imagine if this was war mode? Could you fucking imagine if this part of the video included them coming here and getting ganked and now camped? I think we had something similar happen on my stream too, where we were doing the camping. It was like me 1v5. I was just like farming another group. They were doing like a low key or something like that. I was just like killing them over and over again. The group broke up over it. Like they all just left. That's not what we're talking about.
The Everglades stands together.
I'm actually. Oh, that guy did that guy get away? That's the healer right there, huh? Fucking actually dying. That's funny. It's gonna be close. I have a pot. Frozen. Nice. That works pretty well. This is like a fucking arena match. Wow, he's actually gonna die! Oh my god, dude, I'm wiping a full 5-man group. Anyway, that doesn't happen. We actually summon the guy. This person who's already here, I guess that must be the tank. It's hard to tell, but we're gonna click on this, and then you're gonna see the Demon Hunter DPS gets the summon icon. And then we're also gonna summon the Warlock, who I guess is also just not here, just unsung. Nobody's even talking about this fact. The Warlock is also not here as we're being attacked by something. I have no idea what this is. Some pet of these mobs that are part of like the island's flavor or something like that. So yeah, now we're just gonna summon the other person who just quietly was also not going to come to the dungeon, I guess. I really have no idea what I'm even looking at this point. The person is in the Wizard's Sanctum. Where is that? Wizard's Sanctum is a mage tower and a portal room located in the central southern part of the Mage Quarter in Stormwind. So they also don't know how to get here, but they're just too scared to admit it, I guess, because they're just like flying around in Stormwind. Should probably just click in portals. 10 minutes. No, it's more like 12. This guy's still not in the fucking dungeon, by the way. I love this comment after they get here. Unreal. Okay, stick around after the key and I will show you where it is in Dornegal. Yo, hats off to that. So we are now 13 minutes into just the recording before this key is starting to get underway here. Now, unfortunately, it is the key of the person who sent this in, because otherwise I'm sure we would have just the key thrown in without a countdown. But it's also kind of sad because it means you invited these people. This is kind of sad. Here's what the first pull actually looks like though. Look at this. We pulled 2 packs, basically just a pack and a half. Look at the health pools on these human beings. Oh my god. Another unsung part of this though is the shaman. He's coming into his own arc here. Let's have a look at this. He's going to go ahead and ping. You see the ping there? It is a ping directly in front of that house. Now we saw this where people went and fought inside the house. Another thing that just flashed through my mind is like, could you imagine if he actually pings this guy and the guy just runs it inside the house? But no, we're just going to ping every other fucking thing on the planet. He's trying to like tell the tank how to pull the pack. So he's pinging the 2 packs together. But we get this like happy feet bullshit that you always see when these people think they're like 10 times better than they are. Look at this guy. Just like he runs slightly ahead and he's just like spam left and right moving, like just strafing, waiting. Come on, bro, you're wasting my time. Okay, so we're gonna just now our next pull is just gonna fight 1 peacekeeper, and oh, we're also fighting a reveler, which is kind of cool. I don't think it's a bad idea to look at the DPS charts, but I'm not really sure what we're looking at because I see 3 damage done charts on the screen. I'm not sure why that would be the case. Actually gonna skip that peacekeeper, which is pretty nuts. I love that they like actually properly wait for it and then run, but oh wait, hold the fuck on. See the mini map right now? What's going on there? Gus Dumato is going to come and he is bringing it with him. There's the peacekeeper hanging out. Good thing we didn't pull the next peacekeeper because that probably would have really caused problems. Now we just have to do the same mechanics we've just been doing, which is, oh, well, it should have been easy. I think that guy got stunned by the vendor or whatever because he looked like he was in an ice block. So he's dead. He's just going to stay dead. Continuing to have to do mechanics, and it's a little bit too much for people. Doesn't like being dead, I'd imagine. So instead of just running back, he is actually going to onk in the middle of the pack. Kind of a good thing because we didn't actually have a class that can res the Demon Hunter who's just been sat here dead for like 3 minutes at this point. Here's what the end of combat looks like. There's only the one person who can res, so it has to be the Shaman, and he's just like running around, dancing around, moving around a ton. All right, now we're gonna res. We're also gonna get a Soul Stone from the Warlock on the Shaman. It's probably not a bad idea after watching him die like that. The Shaman's response to that pack, who he aggroed and then died to the mechanic sub, by the way, he says, "My God." Well, we're under the first boss now. We got to kick the bombs. We do a pretty good job of it, but we kind of just tanking the boss in the corner there. I don't think we want to do that really, but it's all good. We're just kind of struggling to get the bombs because of that. There's the coin mechanic, coin magnet. You're meant to not get the coins, but I think he thinks you want to get the coins. It actually makes a lot of sense because it's called coin magnet. So you would think like, oh, I got to pick up as many as possible. But yeah, the combination of all these mechanics is going to cause some issues here. Static pulse with 5 coins. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. It doesn't even take people to half health. That's how easy a Mythic plus 2 actually is. And these guys are going to fail. This Warlock just dies. Full health here. Maybe just 2 Rock Lances. It does look like 2 Rock Lances. Yeah. As we see, both Earth Shapers casting 2 Rock Lances. So they're dead. I mean, it's a hit for more than half health from those Rock Lances. And then just going to like die to the dot from the Rock Lance, I guess. Now we sat here finishing the pack, and the Shaman, probably thinking of the Demon Hunter from before, is going to tell the Warlock to release. 9 times out of 10, that's a good option. Probably not the right option when you're 3 seconds away from fighting the boss. So the Warlock is really taking their time getting up here too. I'm not really sure what they're doing. We're looking at the map right now. I swear they're lost or something like that based on the way this dot moves. You see the dot right there, and then they like move left instead of go up the direction we're supposed to be going. I'm not really sure what they're doing. Maybe they're like unable to get up the cliff there or something like that, or they're waiting for the path. I don't really know, but we're just gonna go fucking pull without the Warlock. Sweet. Great tip to release then, and then the tank's gonna pull without the damage dealer that you just told to release. Here comes the Warlock. They finally I can't even do this with the straight face. Warlock's here, guys. They've made it, all right? You can see them. They're just there, right? And they're dead. This is insane, dude. They're blaming lag for that. I don't know, maybe. It did look like they were kind of glitching around a little bit. So we have the damage dealer die, but you wouldn't think that would cause any issues based on what we saw in that run we just reviewed the other day. But then you look at the Shaman's health bar or nameplate or whatever that is. What's that number? What's that 8? Why does he have a number 8 on the bar? I think that means he's been hit 8 times by that because it stacks. It's a bleed. Anytime you get hit by the Earth Rager, it stacks up. And so he's been hit 8 times. Crazy that it takes 8 times to actually apply enough damage to kill him, but he's gonna die. And we're actually gonna fail to kill the infused Earth Rager before he empowers it or whatever, and it's just like pulsing AoE damage now and wiping us. Now the Shaman, who just been meleeed 8 times by one of the mobs, gives some strategy advice. He says, ads. Talking a little bit more in depth about it now. Kill ad with skull, kite the other. Kite and CC the other, not just kite. Okay, so they full wipe right now. The Warlock, you told to release. He runs back. They pull without him and then dies the second he runs back, and then cites lag as the reason for that. He's going to become the target of this Shaman's ire. All fucking capital letters. He says, release, lock. That's like the pure ego, right? The low-key healer ego. Like you refuse to actually help somebody when they can help themselves. I've seen that so many times over the years. He's just sat there, okay? So he's either actually lagging or he's gone to try to fix it or something like that. So he's just not here. Meanwhile, while that's unfolding, we get this crazy ass line. Seemingly out of nowhere, the Demon Hunter tank says, sorry if my tanking sucks. It's been a while since I've tanked as a Demon Hunter. Okay, we're talking about a 2. Now this is where it gets really fucking funny because the Shaman is actually going to cast res after all this time sat here waiting for this Warlock. The Demon Hunter is like, I suck. Okay, he's gonna res the Warlock, and look, he's actually here. He's not AFK, he just doesn't want to release. So the Shaman tried to berate them by talking about releasing. That didn't work. So now they're going to go this way. Lock low DPS. Pathetic. It's pathetic, guys. Meanwhile, the Rogue talking to the Demon Hunter says, no problem. It's a 2 and we're all just trying to get gear and experience. And then talking to the Shaman says, calm down. Let's just do this. The Earth Rager is on the Warlock, who has been denied by fate the ability to move their character, and they are going to get a fear on it from the Demon Hunter, but that doesn't stay that way for very long. Now it's back there just actually fisticuff, like throwing jabs. You see the mob actually just jabbing, just straight up punching the Warlock, who's just not moving. Now they are moving. They're just kind of like backpedaling around. They're like actually moving very, very slowly. I think further evidence that they are lagging and they're just going to ultimately die again. So we now have 2 deaths to being punched by an ad. Insane part is they get a battle res. I don't know from how. Maybe they just straight up desync back to being alive. I guess maybe they soul stoned themselves. Again, you can take a look at the DPS DPS chart, the guy who is doing pathetic DPS is barely beating the tank, also lagging. But then you have a Demon Hunter DPS who's not doing much better. Basically, both together are equaling one other player, and that is the rogue who's recording this, who again invited all these fucking chuckleheads into this group. This is why I used to fucking never do my own key, man, because like this would just make me want to log off, man. I chose this guy who's gonna do this shit. Look at Jazzy Jeff here. He's gonna get again fixated Earth Rager. Very, very, very hard mechanic, especially if you're made of mobility. Targeted by it, he needs to like move out of melee, I guess. I don't really know, but he's gonna ultimately get meleeed, I guess, a couple times or something. Not even really sure how he dies here, to be honest. Like I can't really tell what's actually going on, but he's gonna go from full health to very low very quickly, and then watch. He's dead. He's now dead. He's dead. Oh, he left the fucking party. Okay, so the fucking guy who cannot figure out how to get to the dungeon in 2025 dies, seemingly maybe to being meleeed by an ad, I guess. I'm not even really sure how he dies, to be honest, but he dies and then leaves the party in the middle of the boss fight on a Mythic +2. There's only one thing that needs to be said, and it's sigh. When the footage ends on VLC player, it starts to loop, which I love, right? Watch this loop. Sigh, leave the party, and we're back at the stone. Try to summon the guy. It's a vicious cycle, man. This is what Mythic Plus looks like. This is what Pugging It 2, probably week 80, looks like in a season, man. I fucking love this video game. Please send me more Mythic +2s. I love them. They are my favorite content in the video game. I have such fun reviewing them. It's been a great season. Thank you guys so much for all the great submissions. Thank you for watching. We got a lot more to come still. There's hopefully going to be even more bangers coming. So thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next video.